What is wrong with you, Ruth? What the heck was all that for? Why did you come out of nowhere and spill red wine all over me? And I had just bought this brand new dress for the wedding today. Shut up! You are useless to us. You happen to be an eyesore to me, so I had no choice but to pour my wine on you. And you shouldn't even be here in the first place. Huh? But I did just as you asked and brought the things you wanted, right? You told me right in the middle of the wedding that you wanted me to go out and get some cigarettes, and so I did. And I only just got back from the nearest gas station I could find. Well, you came back way too soon. I was hoping you would be gone for a bit longer. What are you talking about? You are always getting on me about hurrying up and getting what you ask for. And also, today is the day of the very important CEO's wedding. I thought it would be wrong of me to be away from my seat for too long, so I made sure to go as quickly as I could to get you those cigarettes. And why do you think I had to leave the wedding for a little bit? I was trying to make sure there'd be one less rival during the bouquet toss. But now that you're already back, there was no point in me sending you out at all. Huh? For the bouquet toss? Wait, you're telling me you're trying to catch the bouquet today? Of course I am! This year I'll be turning 34 years old. And so before I turn into a lonely woman, I have to make sure that I find myself a man to marry. So that's why today I'm making sure that I'll be the one to catch that bouquet. And it's not going to be just any old bouquet, but one being tossed by the CEO's wife herself. So grabbing that will definitely bring me the luck to find the man of my dreams this year. And so it's for that reason you decided to get wine all over my new dress? Well, this is a very important moment in my life. This is the wedding of my CEO, and so everything that happens today is huge for me. And not only are all the employees from the company here, but so are all of the company's customers and such. Even the younger CEOs from other companies that I'm aiming at getting lucky with. So I have to make sure that I show off to all of them by catching that bouquet right in front of their very eyes. So that's what you want, huh? The main guy I'm looking at is the young CEO of the company Green Life that we just started doing business with. Last time when I first saw him come into the offices, my heart started racing for him. Oh, I just knew that I had to see what it'd be like to be married to him. Huh? Marry? So that's why today, once I've caught that bouquet, I'll get far closer to him. I'm sure he'll see it all happen, and then I'll look over at him and start my plan of talking to him. As long as I can get him to notice and talk to me, then he'll be all mine. And since I'm a strong adult woman, a younger man like him would love to become married to me. And so that's the whole point of you trying to take out the competition? But I'm sorry to say, you tossing wine all over me is not something that I'll let you get away with. If you really wanted me to be out of the bouquet toss, you should have just come and talked to me about it face to face like a real adult. Shut up, you useless woman! Ever since this wedding had started, I could tell just how much of a problem you'd become for me. Even though you are lower than me in the company, you looked around like you were better. But I'm not going to let you think that you can have that young CEO instead of me. Huh? Ever since the start of this wedding, that young man has been watching me a lot. At first, I thought he was starting to become interested in me, but then I got the feeling that he was looking at you instead. Is that so? I guess I never really noticed him looking at me, ever. Well, that's because you're still young and naive. Not only can you never get anything you're asked to do done right, but even when asked to go out and buy me some cigarettes, you did it too quickly. If you happen to grab the attention of my young man from me again, I'm going to reduce your pay. What? There is no way you could get away with something like that. And I'm telling you that I'm not trying to get with that man. Then, if you want me to trust you, go ahead and leave this wedding. Especially now that you're all covered in red wine, there's no point in you sticking around and ruining the vibe of this wedding. A useless girl like you needs to go home. Having a disgusting subordinate like you head home is not a problem at all for the rest of us. You better not mean any of that, you old hag. Huh? Whoops. I accidentally happened to use a not-so-nice word to describe you there. But even using that word hasn't subsided any of my anger. I suppose I really am at my limit with you then. I can see that recently you've been a bit rude with how you've gone about things around me. But to think that on a day as important as this you'd stoop so low? I can't believe you think you have the right to toss me out of my own dad's wedding. Huh? Your own dad? Today is the wedding of the CEO of the company I work for. But that also means that today is the day of my dad's wedding. I had been so looking forward to this day and everything. But now you've gone and ruined that for me. Huh? Wait just a second. What do you mean by your dad's wedding? Are you actually the daughter of this company's CEO? Yes, I am his actual daughter. When I was born, my mom ended up passing away during the birth. And ever since then, my dad was a single father, making sure to do anything he could to raise me well. I'm sure that having to run a huge company while caring for me was a tough task for him to accomplish. But thankfully, after all of that, he has finally come around to finding another woman to marry. And as his only child, I was looking forward to being able to celebrate that for him. But because of you, Ruth, everything is ruined. You're lying, right? I never heard from anyone that you were the CEO's daughter. Well, my dad told a lot of the top-level people to never say anything about it and just let me do my job like everyone else. After all, being known as the daughter of the CEO would have created a lot of unnecessary stress. So from a young age, it was made sure that I was raised with the best education. But I made sure that all I wanted was a job working here, and to be treated the same as everyone else for the time being. Are you serious then? So I please ask that even though you know about me being his daughter now, that you keep it a secret from everyone else. If you can do that for me, then I'll keep you spilling wine all over me a secret between us. Wait, really? Don't get the wrong idea about this, okay? This is all to make sure that my dad's wedding is not ruined today. If everyone had to learn that the daughter of the CEO had wine intentionally spilled all over her, it would make this one of the worst days of my dad's life. All I have to do is get myself into a new dress. Now, I'm going to get myself a new dress to change into, and since that will take me some time, I won't be able to take part in the bouquet toss. So go on ahead and try with all your might to grab that bouquet. Hey, Luna. If you have the time, what do you think about getting lunch together today? I actually have a restaurant that I'd really like to go and eat at. Why are you asking me that out of nowhere? You had never once invited me out to lunch before. And where did calling me a useless subordinate go? Oh, come on now. Since when did I ever call you a useless subordinate, Luna? I would never call someone as important as my coworker something like that. Huh? Well, once you've finished up whatever work you have this morning, give me a call or text. I'll do my best to match my timing with you and we can both go out to eat. But I wonder if the restaurant that I want to go to will be okay. It's going to be one of those general lunch places that everyone goes to for lunch during work, so that doesn't seem fit for the CEO's daughter. I really want to know what's going on here. If you're trying to get on my good side now, you're too late. Just because of that wedding, that doesn't mean everything you did to me in the past is just gone and disappeared. What? Oh, I'm not trying to get on your good side. I just want you and I to have a little time together since I'm your boss. Well then, if that's the case, I'd rather us not worry about any of that. And anyway, I'm already eating my lunch as we speak. Huh? Oh, is that right? Then I guess I'll take my lunch now and come see you. Can you tell me where you're eating right now? No, thank you. I don't want you here. Well, if you're going to be that cold, I'll tell you the truth. I actually have something I'd like to talk with you about. I have a small problem going on, and leaving it as is will make it hard for me to focus on my work. And so I'd like to talk to a splendid subordinate like you about everything that's bothering me. You have a problem? If I'm not able to do my best with my work here by focusing on my tasks at hand, then this company could run into some problems as well, right? And that would lead to your daddy becoming very sad by the state of his company. As the daughter of the CEO and being my subordinate, I'd like for you to listen to me. Well, if that's all you want, then tell me right now. Because I am not interested in having lunch together with you. Come on, you're being too stubborn, Luna. I'm just asking for you to hear me out about a couple of things. But if you say you'll listen right now, I guess that'll do. What I want to ask from you is that you become my Cupid to help me with my love. Huh? And what does that mean? I'd like for you to help me become even closer with the young CEO of Green Life. I ended up never catching that bouquet at the wedding last week. And so I never had a chance to get close to him then. But if it were to happen that the daughter of this company's CEO became a friend of mine, then I might have a chance. So, to make sure that him and I can become a couple, come and help me. At that wedding for your dad last week, him and that young CEO seemed to get along with one another really well. So there's no way, as his daughter, you can't help me get closer to that guy. So I'd like to ask that, using your influence, you help introduce me to a man like him. And in that way, you'll be helping me get married to him. I will not help you in any way with that. What? If you had some issue related to work, I wouldn't mind helping, but I have no interest in your private life. You are free to be upset about whatever it is that happens at home, but when you are in the office, you should be focused on your work at hand. Hey, hold on, Luna. What do you think you're doing saying no to your boss's request? With what you had just been asking from me, there was no relation to us being boss and subordinate. Huh? You stop right there. I am asking for your hand in all of this, so don't think you can talk back to me. I don't care that you are the CEO's daughter. You cannot speak to me that way. I'm not acting this way because I'm his daughter, though. You are! You are acting like a stuck-up jerk right now because of your status. Listen, even if you are the daughter of the man that runs this company, you are still my subordinate and I can ask what I want from you. And I'm sure you understand that you must always do what your boss asks from you. If you don't want me to go back to the days of me calling you useless, then you'd better listen to me. I want you to use your influence as the CEO's daughter to make sure that I meet the love of my life and marry him.
Even if she were to show you to me, I'd never go out with someone like you.
Huh?
I wonder who is really abusing their status right now. You're the one using your position as boss to ask your subordinate to help you with a personal issue outside the company. As her older brother, I will not let you keep doing this to Luna.
Oh, older brother, huh? You're Luna's older brother, then? In other words, you're the son of the CEO, then? But Luna said she was an only child.
I am also the CEO of Green Life, Jackson. Thank you so much for attending my father's wedding last week. And I also want to thank you for looking after my sister as she began working within that company.
What? So you're the young CEO from Green Life?
And for whatever reason, I can see that you are really interested in me. But I'm sorry, I will never be going out with you in any way.
Huh?
I'm not really fond of people that call my sister a useless subordinate, as well as doing other unjust things as she's trying to get her work done.
Wait a minute, Jackson. I think you misunderstood. That was just me talking to her on a more personal level. To me, Luna is a very important subordinate, and so I had to keep her in line.
Huh. So you spoke to her like that on a personal level then?
Also, you and I have never had the chance to talk to one another in person yet, have we? So please don't say you're not fond of me until you see who I really am. I'm sure that if you and I went out to eat together, you'd learn to take back what you said.
You have a lot of confidence in yourself, don't you?
I've been told a lot that I'm a really good-looking woman for being in my 30s. And so I'm sure that someone as young and fit as you would fall in love with me as well. And also, during your dad's wedding last week, you were looking at me over and over again, right? I know that you felt a little something for me back then, didn't you?
Back then, I was not looking at you all those times. I was just looking at my younger sister all those times. So don't think I had any feelings for you back then.
Huh?
I happen to talk with my sister about her job quite a lot. She always comes to me asking for help with things like the relationship she has with you. Always telling me things aren't going well. And about you calling her useless, that you gave her crappy jobs to work on. And when she would help you finish up a project, you would end up blaming her for any mistakes that there might have been. You really do check out as a type of woman with that toxic attitude.
That all never happened between us. I believe that maybe Luna is just a little confused about things here. I'm not the kind of boss to bully any of my subordinates like that, Jackson.
Well, if that happens to be the case, I'd like for you to stop thinking about dating me and to never bother my sister with anything besides work ever again. And when it comes to the work you give her, make sure it's the work she's supposed to do and nothing else. Now I'll be going. I just finished up having a great lunch with Luna and have to get back to business myself.
Wait, what have you done? Now it looks like that young man hates me. And why did you have to tell him about all the relationship we had in the past? I didn't do anything wrong, though. I just happened to ask for his advice when dealing with you. And it's the truth that you always called me useless and would always get upset with me for mistakes I made doing your own job. Shut up already. You're still my subordinate and you have no right talking back to me like that. All right? Go and talk to him about how you messed up and lied about what you said about me. Tell him that I'm an amazing boss and woman so that he'll start to like me again. If you don't do that, then I'll have you fired. Huh? Fire me? It doesn't matter if you're the daughter of the CEO or not. After all, nobody else knows that about you anyway. And so when you're someone that everyone couldn't care less about, being fired is not a big deal. And if you're so upset about the way I've been treating you, allow me to end it all for you. I have to ask, how many people have you fired already for not doing as you liked? I'm sorry, Ruth, but you're not going to be able to get away with that anymore. Huh? Oh. I've already heard about this stuff from some other employees. About how anyone that works under you always either gets fired or quits within a couple months of being your subordinate. But with the company becoming more interested in what's going on with your department, your best bet is to run. What are you even talking about? Don't act as though I have some sort of pleasure in firing those that work for me. But that could be just the case, right? You always try and force people to make mistakes and then criticize the hell out of them for it. And so when you've had enough picking on them, you end up firing them and moving on to the next victim, right? And if you try and dig your way out of this one, I've made sure to collect all the evidence I need. What? Evidence? When talking further with some of those other coworkers and employees, they made sure to tell me everything about what's been going on with you. But I am not going to forgive you for being compliant within my dad's company. Hence the reason I always put up with the way you called me names and forced me into tough positions. And after doing that for a while now, I was able to get all I needed to make sure that you never get away with it again. But what kind of evidence could you have? You've already made the choice to be fired by me, so nobody in the higher-up positions will listen to you. And I'm sure that evidence isn't anything anyway. Nobody has been fired or quit yet, so there's still lots of ears ready to listen. And did I tell you I spoke with those that you ended up firing before? They all gave me lots of juicy evidence when it comes to the things you did to them. What did you say? I can't believe I was able to get all this evidence on you because I'm sure with the way things were going between you and I, you would have really ruined the image of this company. So I've now come to the conclusion that the only way to end all of this within your department is to have you fired. Wait a minute, Luna. What do you mean, have me fired? I'm one of the big players within this company. I'm the one that puts in the effort for a lot of sales and everything that has to do with selling to customers. But you always ended up handing off your work to your subordinates, so perhaps they were the ones really making things work for the company. And all I've gathered as evidence, I'll bring to HR and have them think about you. And of course, I'll also be letting my dad know about this as well. I'll even make sure to ask him to have you let go of as soon as possible. You're lying, right? You know very well that all the things you've been doing within the company was not okay. So please, hurry up and start preparing your things in that office for when the time comes you have to leave. I'm sure that by next week the decision will be made. You can't just do this to me! Why do I have to be the one to leave this company? All I did was get rid of the subordinates that I couldn't use. Actually, if anything, it's because of them always making mistakes that I had to put in more work to correct them all. You should be thankful that I did all of that. You really are self-centered about everything. Even after being exposed like this, you're trying to make it seem as though you did the right thing all those times? I might have to show my brother all of this evidence as well later on. Huh? I'm assuming that this will all require you to step into my dad's office at some point to explain yourself, so enjoy that time with him one-on-one and say whatever reasons you'd like. That would be the perfect chance for you to ask if you can marry his son. I'm sure that would be your last chance to get closer to my brother. You think that I could talk about your brother like that now? Well, I'm going to get back to work now. I assume that I'll have a lot more work to do now that you've lost even more focus. And I still have a bunch of your work from this morning to finish. I was able to have a delicious lunch with my brother at least, so maybe that'll help me make less mistakes. And just after that, Ruth was called up to my dad's office where she was told to never come back to the office ever again. And when the company made their final decision the following week, she had to come back in and explain everything while she cried. But my father ended up telling me that after having to come in and explain herself to all the higher-ups, she burst out saying that I was the perfect subordinate. She then followed up by saying that she was so proud to be my boss and asked that they please let her continue her work with me. And of course, my father and everyone agreed with her, saying that I was the best. But then they continued to fire her, and she had to leave the offices for good. But that wasn't the end for her, as all those old employees she fired came back to fight her in court for firing them without reason. And so now, Ruth is having to go from hearing to hearing, paying one upset ex-subordinate after another for her mistakes. Nick, where are you at? Hurry up and get to the hospital, please. You should have gotten a call from the hospital saying that Mom just had to get rushed to the emergency room, right?
Shut up, Taylor. Even if she had to go to the emergency room, all she did was fall down a couple of stairs and hurt her legs. Is there really even a reason to go to a hospital for something like that? Besides, I'm busy dealing with my job.
She hit her head really hard on the ground, and at the moment, she still hasn't come to. You need to be more worried about your own mother's condition over a day at work.
Huh? I need to be?
I think you don't realize just how bad she hit her head on the ground, Nick. The doctor even told us that with how bad the injury is, she may be in a coma for some time from it.
Are you serious? Is it that bad of an injury then? Well, that means right now is the perfect chance. I can finally come back home and get all the money I want out of Mom's bank account.
Excuse me?
Recently, I asked Mom to let me borrow some money from her, but when she replied to me, she was super upset to hear me ask that. She told me that she had no more money for me to have, and then sent me out of her house. But I have to make sure that I have money myself in case of emergencies, right? So I think I'll head back over there after work and take her checkbook and make a few transfers. And if by the off chance Mom does end up waking up from that coma, you go ahead and tell her what's gone on since she fell.
I can't believe you right now. Right now, when Mom needs us most, you're going to take her checkbook and run?
Well, I'm in a bit of a predicament myself over here. It seems that the company that finally got on its feet is now at risk of going back under again. So if I can use her money to help it out of the hole, it should be able to run itself again. And so in times like this, I have to borrow some kind of money from Mom.
How many times now has it been that your company has been close to going bankrupt? You used that same reasoning last year to take over $10,000 from Mom without ever giving anything back to her.
having to run your own company is a really difficult job. But I'm sure that some old office lady would never be able to understand those sort of struggles, huh? In my case, even when taking huge risks like I have to make sure that I win so that I can get a lot more cash at the end of the year.
What the hell? You're nothing more than a simple business owner. Yet you think you can act like you run the country because of that?
What did you say?
I know about you, Nick. I know about how you will go out and use your status as a business owner and the CEO of that company to get whatever you want. Like how you'll go out with others every night to go drinking and will charge it all to your business. Maybe because you think that you can get away with having your company pay for you, your company is going back under again.
And what would a simpleton like you know about the business world? I am a genius when it comes to this kind of complex world. I'm probably one of the most important men just in this city.
Well, if that's the case, then there's no reason to have Mom be the one paying for everything. You've already caused her enough troubles in the past, and all that just to become an egotistical jerk. You're not even willing to come and see Mom now when she's in the hospital. After all the help and support she's given you, the least you can do is come here and show your love and thanks for her.
It's because of her taking good care of me that I'm not going to come there. But that last time when I expected her help, she just got upset with me instead. So me coming now would only make her blood pressure rise from the anger she holds for me now. And I might end up killing her by accident. So me not going to that hospital to see her is all so that she doesn't have to be upset with me.
So that means you're just allowed to waltz into her house then when nobody's home and take her checkbook? If you want to help her by not making her upset, then how could taking more of her money help? She might just end up passing out again at that point.
And to make sure that doesn't happen, I'm making sure you're there to keep her under control. Now, I have a checkbook to grab. If she's okay when she wakes up, tell her that once my company comes around this time, I'll make sure to pay her back. Maybe.
What kind of a horrible person are you? Not even coming to give your own mother a farewell at her funeral? I never thought that my boyfriend's little sister could be this much of a scummy waste. Well, now when him and I get married, I am never going to even bother to get close to you. Huh? I heard all about what's happened from Nick about you and him. But the fact that you'd actually act this crazy is beyond me. You have no right to be absent during your mother's funeral, you jerk. I'm sorry to have to ask this, but who is this? Are you sure you don't have the wrong number or something? I know for a fact that this is the right number. I'm sending all of these messages to Nick's little sister right now. But just to keep you from becoming too confused, my name is Janice, and I'm Nick's fiancé. And I was expecting to become your sister-in-law here soon, but now I'm thinking twice about ever coming near you. What? My brother's fiancé? Nick had never spoken to you about anything to do with me and how we planned to get married. He actually told me to never even speak to you. But to just leave someone that never went to their parents' funeral alone, I just can't do that. And so that's why I decided to text you so that you can have the gift of listening to me complain about you. Can you slow down for just a second? I'm having a bit of trouble understanding what's all going on here, but I'd like to know what you're talking about when you say that I was absent from my mom's funeral. You can't be serious. Do you really think you can play dumb now? Especially when your mother only just passed away a little bit ago? What? I've heard all about you from Nick. He's always gone on about how ever since you were little, you've been the most selfish person he's known. How if you're not number one, you'll never let things rest. And because of that reason there, he's always had to work so hard and fight for some sort of success. And it's even because of you that he wasn't able to get the education he wanted because he could never make it to the college of his liking. What are you going on about? And when it came to your guys' parents, they always favored you over him. It's because of that when your dad passed away, you did nothing to help out with the family. And when your mother ended up unconscious, you didn't do a dang thing and had to ask that your brother handle everything. And it seems that even after your own mother finally passed away from those accidents, you didn't even bother showing to her funeral. Can you please stop talking for a second? What the hell are you talking about? All of that sounds like some bullcrap to me. What about any of this is bullcrap to you, you little piece of crap? After doing absolutely nothing for your family, you want to come and get the money left over, don't you? I bet you've even gone and taken what was supposed to be left for Nick so that he doesn't get a dime. Huh? Why the hell are you such a greedy witch? There's no reason you should be allowed to take all your parents' money when you already took so much from Nick. We'll make sure that all that money from your dead mother goes to us. So give us everything you took from her right now. You can say all you want about me, but, I think you have a ton of misunderstandings right now. And it seems that my brother got the best of you by telling you all sorts of stories that make him look as though he suffered. The only one that ended up getting everything they wanted was you. And now you're acting as though you don't know anything about Nick. You left all the care that needed to be done for your mother to Nick, and you never even showed up to her funeral. Yet now you think it's okay to have all her money? That must explain why at your age, you're still single and alone. You're the worst. Huh? Your parents ended up spoiling you too much, and now you can't even find a man to put up with your needs. But I have to say, most men don't like being together with a spoiled brat. And since you're so spoiled, you wouldn't need a man anyway, would you? Who are you calling a spoiled brat? Jeez, just when I was getting away with being able to marry a business owner and everything, his mother had to pass away. The whole time we were supposed to be getting the wedding together, he had to care for her and such before she passed. And so the only thing that kept me going with him was knowing that one day, his mother's money would come to us. But now I have to live with the fact that all the money I had hoped for is being stolen by his little brat sister. I am never going to forgive you for that. You really love to just spew crap from that mouth of yours, huh? Do you think you can listen to what I have to say? Shut up, you ugly witch! You're the worst thing to happen to the family. Hurry up and give me my money. I am going to be the wife of a CEO, and so that means I should be getting all the money from his mother. So that money is mine and my man's. Huh? You're worthless as anyone's daughter if you can't even make it to your own mom's funeral. You have no right to her money. So you give all of it to us. My mom passed away 7 years ago. What? You never bothered to listen to what I had to say, so I'll tell you again. My mom died 7 years ago. Yet you want me to give you all her money now? And you think I don't have any right to her money? You've been going on about such nonsense for almost 30 minutes now, so could you stop that? You're the one that's been speaking nonsense. What the hell do you mean she passed away 7 years ago? Your mom only just passed away last week, right? I'm not sure what all my older brother has told you, but our mom passed away 7 years ago. And the one that ended up caring for her before she passed was me. And the one that put the whole funeral together was also me. Actually, my pile of crap brother never even once talked to me after that, and he didn't do a thing to help with the setup. Huh? He said that I'm a selfish little sister, did he? And that's the reason he could never do anything about me? I'm sorry, but everything he's told you and you've told me is the complete opposite from the truth. The only one that ended up being super selfish was my brother, Nick. And the one who never got to study or go to the college of their choice was me. And the reason for that is because my brother would always take loads of money from my parents without ever paying either one back. What? Well, even if I tell you all of this now, I'm sure that it's all really difficult for you to believe right now, right? I can already tell that you've been deceived by my brother for so long that all of this is lies to you. That's right. I can't believe a dang thing you're saying right now. Well, then go back and ask my brother about all of this again. Ask him how exactly my mom died. And also ask him what kind of funeral he gave for her. I'm sure that he won't be able to give you a good answer to either of those two questions.
Taylor, hey! Listen, do you think you can read the atmosphere a little here? Why the hell were you telling her the truth about everything? Couldn't you have just let her have a moment of yelling at you and then moved on from there?
I was just finally starting to relax again, and now you're here. What do you want? And also, can you please thank me for what I did? I made sure to take time out of my day to correct all the bull crap you told Janice.
What do you mean, bull crap? I had to explain what happened with me as well.
Huh? What situation are you talking about?
Well, I have finally gotten my company to steady out, and I now have myself a girlfriend. But she keeps nagging me, asking me to get married as soon as possible. I had only just gotten engaged to her, but she kept asking me to meet my mother and all that. I had a lot of things happen to me, so I wasn't able to make it back to Mom's house easily, right? So I told her that my mother had fallen, and a lot of things happened since then.
And so after that, you told her that Mom had passed away and all that other crap?
I had no other choice, Taylor! She told me that she can't meet my mom, to at least let me go and see others in my family. And so I chose to tell her that Mom passed away out of nowhere. And by telling her that you're a terrible sister and shouldn't be messed with, she would not bother asking to meet you. At least I thought she'd stay away from you.
So you just couldn't stop yourself from telling lie after lie, and now your whole life story is a lie. So it's all because of you that she thinks I'm some kind of mentally screwed up sister? A person that I don't even know about just randomly started texting me, calling me a witch and ugly and all that. Why do I have to be the one that has to deal with this crap now?
Well, that's what I'm wondering myself. Perhaps if you were just a bit nicer of a little sister, I could have gotten away with all the lies I told Janice. Why, though? Why would you tell her that Mom passed away 7 years ago? Now you've gone ahead and made her doubt some of what I said.
Huh? You shouldn't have been lying to her about that sort of stuff in the first place. But at this point, I'm not even sure what you should have done since you seem so freaking toxic right now. You know that your mom passed away 7 years ago, and she should have known as well.
Huh? Wait, so she seriously did pass away? Wait, are you actually being serious about that?
You remember how she fell down the stairs and slammed her head on the ground, right? Well, in the end, she never did come out of that coma, and did pass away.
What?
But during that whole time, you just left me to watch over her while you took her checkbook and ran. I tried my best to contact you over and over again to tell you that she had died. But you never once replied to me or answered my calls, leaving yourself in the dark about everything.
So back when you were calling me like 10 to 11 times a day, it was because Mom passing away? I just assumed that it was Mom trying to yell at me after she woke up from her coma or something. I knew that she'd be pissed after hearing that I took her checkbook, and so I just wanted to run away and ignore her.
And what you did back then will never be forgiven. You went and caused trouble for her all the way to her very last breath. And then when we had her funeral, you never bothered showing up for that. Back then, I had never wanted to think about you as my brother, but my, what good timing. I never knew all of that was just you ignoring me that whole time, thinking that you could just stay away hidden from Mom or something. Luckily now, I'll finally be able to get all that money of hers that you used back from you.
Wait, get that money back?
Mom had kept a record of all the money she lended you back in the day. But now that she's gone, I'll take her place and gladly accept all that money back for her. And after taking a good look at it all, you owe me $300,000. I want all of that back and all in one payment.
What?
Well, if your company is going steady now, then you shouldn't have a problem giving me that money, right? Now, good luck getting all that money prepared for me. Taylor, I am so sorry for the huge misunderstanding yesterday. I happened to get pretty upset with you for a second there. You have that right. For that short amount of time, you blamed me for everything that happened and acted as though I was the one lying to you about it all. calling me a witch, ugly, and selfish like you knew me well enough for that. You really had quite the colorful tongue then. That was a bit much from me. Well, now none of that really matters to me. I no longer have any intention of being around you guys. And so if you still feel happy to be with that pile of crap, then go ahead and marry him. But that's what I want to talk about. I think that I've actually rethought wanting to marry him. So I've been wondering if you could tell me the truth about his company as well for me. Huh? I tried asking him if there was any other things he lied about to make himself look good for me. But he ended up saying that there was nothing else that was a lie, yet I still don't believe any of that. And when I went and searched through his room for any obvious things, I found some papers relating to his company. So I wanted to see if you knew anything about that. I have no idea what's going on with my brother's company since it's been 7 years since we last talked. But I will say that when he first started up that company, he had multiple times where it almost went bankrupt. And when that would happen, he'd run home to us crying and ask for some money. However, the last time that happened was when my mom was in the hospital before her death. And instead of coming in to see her, he ran to the house and stole her checkbook. Altogether, though, my mom had given him over $300,000 to help keep his company going. Over $300,000? And you're saying that when your mom was dying, he went and stole her checkbook before running? And now I plan to get all that money he took from her back. I'm not quite sure how his company is doing now and all, but I am going to make sure that every penny he took is back with me. Could this possibly mean that Nick is kind of a scummy person? I think I really did make a mistake when choosing who I wanted to marry. Well, just to let you know, I plan to sue you as well, okay? Not only did you not have any idea who I was before talking to me, but you started out the conversation by verbally assaulting me for no good reason. That really caused me some trauma, and so I'll get with a lawyer to have a lawsuit made against you. What? But I was being played by your brother! I'm sure that you don't see it as too much of a problem, but to me, this is about my pride being hurt by you. For so long now, I've had a tough life due to Nick. And after having to deal with my past with him for years now, I was finally getting myself into a happy place. But right when everything was looking good for me, you came along and destroyed what I'd worked so hard for in one small set of text messages. And now, I can't just let you get away with doing that. Stop lying, okay? Stop all of that! I told you that your brother was the one that took advantage of me! Well then, how about instead of getting sued by me, you tell me the address that my brother is living at now? He had run long and far from me, and so for the past 7 years, I've never been able to find where he ran off to. But if you happen to, A, not tell me his address and keep going on like you're the victim, or B, tell him that I want his address and help him to run even further, I'll sue you for everything you have. Well, if that's the case, then I'll tell you. He has a company that's probably not even doing well right now anyway. No need for a man like that. I'll tell you whatever you want to know about him, so please don't sue me.
Hi, Taylor. I have something I'd like to ask from you, and that's... Will you give me a little money?
What?
I know that I told you that my company was running steadily not too long ago, but to be honest, there still seems to be a few setbacks.
Nice one asking me for more money after all that's happened.
But it's because of what's happened that I'm asking. The whole reason I had to cut ties for a long time was because I felt no use in being around all of you anymore. But knowing now that Mom ended up passing away, I never expected that to happen. Now that I'm back in touch with you and you're not too upset with me, I'm so happy. We don't have our parents around anymore, so it's just you and me now, right? So let's start helping each other out more so that we can both live a happy life.
Stop with all that bullcrap, man. I will never help you, Nick. Now that you have your answer, I'd like you to hurry up and give me all the money you owe Mom.
Hey, you don't have to be so rough like that. I'm telling you that once my company is back and steady, I can get you all that money.
But you've told that to Mom plenty of times, and yet here we are with you having to pay $300,000 to me.
But I promise that this next time I will get you that money back. If you don't want to help me out now, are you okay with me cutting ties with you again? If you allow that to happen, then I'll never be able to give you that money because you don't know where I'll be. You only have my phone number now, and that's not even close to enough for you to be able to find me.
I'm sorry, Nick, but I already know everything about you now. Where your house is, where your company is located, everything. I know about your friends that you go out drinking with. I know all the customers that buy from your company. Everything.
Huh?
And now that I have all of this information, I can bring my lawyer along to make sure that all of that money does indeed come back to me.
Lawyer?
Well, I never was spoiled as much as you were by Mom and Dad. They would never let me run away from them like you always did, but unlike them, I'll never let you run from me. I'll make sure that after this you give me anything you can to make up that $300,000.
Hey, hold on! You can't just get a lawyer to come after your own brother.
And why can't I? You're practically a criminal at this point. You would always say some crap to Mom to get her money and then never give anything back to her even though you said you would. And that's why you ended up staying away from her even when she was on her deathbed. Not to mention the actual crime in all of this. You stealing her checkbook? Well, I'm going to take all of this very seriously, so you'd best be ready. I was able to get in touch with an excellent lawyer, and with the help of them, I was able to get all that money back from my brother. And due to this, the company he ran instantly went bankrupt. But just before anything could happen to it, it was sold by him, but he only made out with a small amount of pocket change. After what had happened, he is now left with over $1 million in debt to both the bank and other loan agencies. So, to start putting any sort of dent, or I guess in this case, scratch, into that amount, he's picked up a part-time job. And as for the fiancée of Nick, Janice, she was just getting to the point where she was going to leave him and give the engagement ring back to him when she realized she was pregnant. Unfortunately, this left her with no other choice, and she married my brother. But to all those around her, they still had no clue of what happened, so she keeps a face on for them to assure them all that she is still married to a CEO and will someday make it big. And when anyone she does know sees her working her part-time job at the local diner, she tells them it was her husband that owned the place. I guess those two really did turn out to be just like the other, lying their way into the illusion that they are living the dream.
Thank you for watching all the way until the end. If you felt good after watching this video, please like the video. If not, please leave a comment and give us your feedback. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Your comments and likes help this channel grow. We hope you enjoy our other stories as well.